3 weeks, one location after another, shooting every single day. This is what I learned. And honestly, most of these lessons have nothing to do with Vietnam itself. The place gave me the inspiration, the streets, the light, the people, all of it. But the lessons that actually stuck came from something simpler. What actually happens when you show up for your craft fully every single day for 3 weeks straight. Here's the lessons that I came home with. Lesson 1, you just need to be out there. This one isn't exactly a revelation, but it's perhaps the most important thing in this video. There's a difference between knowing something and feeling it compound in real time. More time means more chances. More chances means more frames, and somewhere inside those frames, you're paying more attention. Something really starts to build. You stop searching for the shot and start anticipating it. You know where the light hits at 7 a.m. You know which corner feels people by mid-afternoon. You're not just reacting anymore, you're really reading a place. These frames here were all from my last day or two of the trip, and by that point I wasn't just searching anymore. I knew exactly where the light would fall, I knew which locations I wanted to hit, and the kind of moments I was looking for. I wasn't just hoping something would happen, I was waiting for what I knew was coming. The final image kind of hides everything that made it possible. You don't just need to be out there once, you need to keep showing up again and again until the place really starts to reveal itself. Lesson 2, I'm no longer a sunrise, sunset photographer. Spending that much time out there every single day, no real agenda, really forces you to confront what you actually enjoy shooting. And this trip confirmed something that I'd been quietly circling for a while. Like most photographers, I always used to live for those edges of the day, when the sky was really doing something extraordinary. But beautiful as they aren't the moments that I love to shoot. What pulls me in and what comes after sunrise and before sunset, that window where the light still has direction and softness, the longer shadows, the way it gives shape to a person moving through a scene without really announcing itself. Because during a beautiful sunrise or sunset, the sky really becomes the hero. It demands attention before you've really decided what the image is all about. I'd rather find a pocket of light, a wall, and wait for something to pass through it, frame a person through an interesting passage or doorway, or use shadow to simplify a busy street. Let those small details become important because the light gives it just enough attention without overwhelming everything else. I still really love good light, but I'm less interested in light as the subject itself and more interested in what light can really reveal about the story that's already happening. Not because this approach is more impressive or better, but because it just asks more of me as a photographer. You're really deciding what matters inside the scene. Less like really chasing that hero postcard and more like I was really trying to understand what was happening in front of me. Lesson 3. The authenticity of street photography is hard to match. Once you stop chasing these perfect conditions, you really start to look at what's actually happening in front of you. And that's where street photography has become hard to beat for me. Some of these famous photos you've probably seen from Vietnam, even these ones of my own, can be far more constructed than you realize. But street photography really doesn't work like that. There is an authenticity to it that's difficult to recreate. A person stepping into the right patch of light, a small gesture between strangers, these moments that were never arranged for the camera and will never happen in the exact same way again. You don't control the light, the people, the background. Most of the time, everything is almost working, but not quite. And then for a split second, it can often come together. And that feeling is really hard to match. What I didn't expect, and it's quite different from just showing up more, was walking for 5 or 6 hours a day doesn't just give you more frames, it changes how you understand a place. The rhythm of a city really gets into you in a way that just a taxi ride or even a tour never could. This moment from wandering through the street markets in Hanoi is a perfect example. I've been in that area for a little while, watched him setting up, kind of sensed something was building. You can't construct this, you can only be there for it. The best street photographs from this trip aren't necessarily the most polished ones, but they feel more alive, they feel specific, they feel like something I witnessed rather than something I constructed. When I look back at a place, I remember the people, those interactions, the ordinary moments that somehow show more than the obvious views ever could. Lesson 4. Hybrid shooting can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of photographers overcomplicate this because they imagine they need to be always doing both at the same time. Every scene needs a photo, every scene needs a clip, every moment covered from every angle. That just makes you slower, more distracted, and usually worse at both. The shift that made it work for me was simple. Stop treating photo and video equally. I'm a photographer first, so that became the anchor. If I wasn't sure what to do, I'll always look for that still image first, waited for the frame, the gesture, the light, the thing that could exist only in a single photograph. Then, once I had that, I could think about whether the scene had anything more to give and add some video on top. Did the moment peak in that one frame, or did it breathe a little longer? Was there movement, atmosphere, a feeling that made sense as a video? So a photo can be that single moment, where video can be the build-up or even the aftermath and just that atmosphere around it. They don't need to compete, they can do different jobs. Once you have a simple, clear process, shooting both never feels like a burden and you never feel like you're missing out. Lesson 5. Zooms are actually better than I give them credit for. For years, I've been quite vocal about shooting with a single prime, really committing to one focal length. And for me, that was the 50mm. I still believe in it. Spending serious time with one prime really forces you to move, simplify, and understand composition in a way that just reading about it never will. But there's a difference between learning with a limitation, a creative constraint, and treating that limitation as a permanent identity. This trip, the 28-70 f2.8, this one, lived on my camera. Filming, photographing, reacting to small moments, wide scenes, intimate details, crowds. When you're moving through a city trying to do all of that, the zoom really earns its place. Not because it makes things easier or because it's better, but because it can keep you present with just that one lens. You're not missing a moment while swapping lenses or repositioning while the scene is still unfolding. And that connects to something even bigger, which is this idea of having a one camera setup. For me, moving between stills and motion without breaking stride, having different bodies, different menus, different ways of thinking, every extra variable is one more thing pulling your attention away from what's actually in front of you. So one camera, photo and video ready. Custom settings dialed in, small enough to keep moving, capable enough to always trust. That simplicity is what lets you focus less on the setup and more on the place and the result. The location didn't teach me all of this, it gave me the material. 3 weeks of showing up every single day, no excuses, no half measures. That's what really made the lessons real. And as always, keep shooting, stay curious, and catch you in the next one. Bye for now.